The Theta X is the first brand new 360 camera of 2022. It shoots 60 megapixel 360 photos, it has a vastly improved 5.7K 360 video, and it fixes a lot of the problems we've had over the years with Ricoh 360 cameras. It's so good to see you all, by the way. New house, new background, and new content coming soon. So, is the Theta X the new best 360 camera in 2022? Well, before I answer that, here are 30 things you need to know about the Theta X. Number one is the price. It's $799 US, and in my opinion, totally worth it. The release dates are between February and April, depending on where you are in the world, but most places it will be March. Taking a look at the design, and the first amazing feature they've added is this 2.25 inch touchscreen. Nobody was expecting a touchscreen from a Ricoh camera, but lo and behold, here it is, and the screen quality is actually really good. It's got multiple menus similar to the Insta360 and GoPro cameras, but the screen is bigger and as a result easier to navigate. It's very easy to preview your photos, look around them, and zoom in. Great feature. You'll notice that there's no button on either side of the camera. That's because you take photos by just tapping the screen. Now here's something we've all been asking for. It's a removable battery, yay! And right next to it, you guessed it, that's a removable storage slot. Finally, we can change the SD cards in Theta cameras, and to make it even sweeter, the camera has 46 gigabytes of inbuilt storage. So if you forget to put your memory card back in, that's okay. You can shoot using the internal storage of the camera. Again, it's got a USB-C port, but this time it's in a much better spot. Instead of being on the bottom, it's on the side, which means the charging port and the 1/4 inch tripod thread aren't too close to each other. Something else I noticed is the camera doesn't feel that heavy. Compared to the Z1, it's noticeably lighter. The camera has dual 1/2 inch sensors, which unfortunately is a downgrade from the Z1. It has a fixed f2.4 aperture and performs well in low light. One con of the design, even though the removable battery is great, it's not a big battery. It's 1350 milliamps, so it probably won't last longer than 1 to 2 hours of continuous use. One way to avoid that is instead connecting wirelessly to your smartphone, try operating the camera and changing the settings exclusively through the camera, since connecting to your phone through Wi-Fi does drain the battery quickly. This will also help prevent overheating. Now let's move on to some of the specs, and the Theta X shoots 60 megapixel 360 photos. That's a bit of a leap from 21 from the Theta Z1, and the average being about 21 to 30 in 2022, so that's more than double most 360 cameras. Seriously, that is impressive resolution, and nobody was expecting it to be that high from the next generation Theta. I've taken some test photos and they are looking good. One thing it improves over its predecessors is it has far less chromatic aberration. While it still has a little bit, if this was taken with a previous Theta camera, both of those windows would be completely lined with purple fringing. I found the stitching to be good with the Theta X so far, about on par with previous Theta cameras where it stitches well, not 100% perfectly, and you may notice a slight softness around both stitch lines. This brings me to the first real downside, and that is it doesn't shoot RAW. The Z1 did, the X doesn't, which is slightly disappointing because the RAW from the Z1 was truly incredible for a 360 camera and really meant you could take your editing to the next level. That said, because it has such increased resolution combined with using inbuilt HDR mode, while I wouldn't normally recommend shooting JPEG only, the Theta X gets away with it quite easily, and it handles highlights and shadows extremely well, as Theta cameras always have. So that's a bummer, but those JPEGs look great. The next thing you need to know is that you can still use plugins with the Theta X. In fact, the whole plugin installation experience is far simpler. Due to the added touchscreen, you can swipe across to the plugin store and install the plugins directly from the camera. That's pretty freaking cool, because when you first set up your camera, you're connecting it to your home's Wi-Fi, which means this camera will get better and better over time, even if Ricoh don't make the updates themselves. You've got third-party developers working in the background, adding new awesome features to this camera. Unfortunately though, you can't use the Dual Fisheye plugin yet with the Theta X. No doubt the developer will work on some kind of solution to that, but the Dual Fisheye plugin was a game changer for the Z1 because it automated the bracketing workflow to happen at lightning speed. That said, again, the images look so good with the Theta X that you probably don't need it. When it comes out, it will be great, but it's not necessary to get up and running and getting great shots with the Theta X straight away. It has a built-in GPS, handy for Google Street View. Next, let's go over the video specs, and it shoots 5.7K 360 video at 30 frames per second, which admittedly is very behind its time. Insta360 have been doing 5.7K video for 2+ years now, so this isn't game-changing resolution. What is nice though is it brings the Ricoh image quality to 360 video. Even though the Theta cameras really are focused on 360 photography, there's no question the way they've built the camera can produce a superior image for both photos and videos. That said, there won't be that much of a difference between the 5.7K video of the Theta X and the 5.7K video of the Insta360 1X2 and 1R. It also does 4K at 60 frames per second, which is nice if you like shooting at 60 FPS. The higher frame rate makes things feel that extra bit lifelike. The maximum clip length when shooting 360 video with the Theta X is 25 minutes. Moving on to video stabilization, and it's pretty average to be fair. It's nowhere near the level of flow state stabilization that Insta360 cameras have, but if you hold your camera somewhat straight, it will be good enough. It's not super reliable though. Even on a monopod, it can show visible signs of shake. Overall though, I'm just gonna reiterate, it has great photo and video quality. Another great feature of the X is it has in-camera stitching for both 360 photos and 360 videos, taking one step of the workflow completely away, which is really nice, especially if you edit on desktop. You literally just download the photos and videos from the camera and either color correct them or upload them from there. No stitching needed ever. With the mobile workflow, I've also noticed an improved wireless connection between the camera and your phone, which is helped by both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to connect within seconds. I've also noticed they've made improvements to the mobile app, which is really good to see. Right now, viewing 360 videos on your phone is a bit limited because you can't preview 5.7K 30 videos or 4K 60 videos on your phone. They may or may not fix that, but if you're someone that previews a lot, this may be an issue. You may be wondering how it compares to the Z1. Well, I think the design is way better and much more user-friendly, but also the images aren't that different. Even when you use the best workflow possible with the Z1, which is using the Dual Fisheye plugin and carefully editing in Lightroom and other programs, the image quality of the X without any editing is still comparable. I will make a proper comparison video soon, so stay tuned for that. So, who is the Theta X for? Well, it's for anyone that wants high quality 360 photos with a bit of 360 video on the side. Photography is definitely the priority with the Theta X, so only consider buying it if you shoot more photos than videos, or if you plan on offering 360 photography professionally like in virtual tours. I truly think this is an amazing virtual tour camera because it has such high resolution, great dynamic range, and a super fast workflow, which is the trifecta of awesome things a virtual tour photographer could want. It's still, of course, not comparable to a DSLR and a pano head, but it's one of the best consumer point-and-shoot 360 photo cameras to date. If you're someone that shoots more 360 video than 360 photos, though, I would go with Insta360 cameras because their workflow is their major unique selling point. It's so good. It makes shooting and editing so easy, so I would recommend still going with the latest Insta360 camera. Comment below what you think of the Theta X. Yay or nay? I will acknowledge that it's still early days as well with the Theta X, so I'll be sure to share any updated thoughts, workflows, and anything else that comes up regarding this camera. Until next time, this has been Mr. Ben against his brand new background. Peace out.